Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be taking a look at a happy day in your future. This reading is pretty straightforward. We are just going to be looking at any day in your future where something amazing is happening for you. We're going to see what makes this day so happy and look at the exact specific events that will be taking place during that day. And I really just wanted to do this reading to remind you guys that good things are coming, that you have a lot to look forward to. But this reading could also be specific confirmation for some of you. So if there is something that you are working towards, something that you are manifesting, then perhaps this reading will end up being confirmation for you that that thing is indeed coming in your future. I personally am not going to be thinking of a specific point in the future. It is in an unidentified period of time in the future. However, if there is a time frame that you're really curious about, just keep that in mind when you are picking your group. So for example, if you really want to know about an exciting day 6 months from now, or an exciting day 5 years from now, or maybe you want it to be a surprise, you just want spirit to show you a random day. It's really up to you how you would like to use this reading. You can even, of course, choose multiple options for multiple days that are awaiting you. This is me from the future. I just wanted to mention as well that at the end of the reading, we're going to be getting some advice from your spirit guides as you journey from your present moment into this happy day in your future. Is there anything that you should know or that you should keep in mind, or anything that you can do to get to this day as smoothly as possible? Okay, back to previous me. With all that being said, let's get into your option selection. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. So I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and then please pick the one or ones that you feel drawn to the most. For option number 1, we have this red Aura Quartz. For option number 2, we have this Amethyst. For option number 3, we have this Caribbean Calcite. And for option number 4, we have this Prehnite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones. So if you guys chose the red Aura Quartz, which I just think is absolutely beautiful, this is going to be a reading all about a happy day in your future. So we're going to start off by taking a look at these oracle cards just to see the overall energies of the day, what makes this day so significant, and what are the main emotions that you and others are experiencing on this day. And then after that, we're going to get into the tarot and see more specifically what events are taking place throughout the day. And then at the end of this reading, we're going to finish off with advice from your spirit guides on how you can journey towards this day in the smoothest way possible. Basically advice to get from here to this happy day. Yeah, so let's get started with your oracle cards. We have the Ascendant. We have Aura with the keyword worship. And then we have True Love. Okay, I did want to mention something. You guys are group number 1, and then you have like a number 1 card that came out, and it was 1 minute exactly when I showed this card, so that's another 1. And then we also have 2 A cards, Ascendant and Aura. So like 1 and A seem to be significant, and this is making me think that for some of you, this day entails you like receiving first place in something, like winning first place or getting an A on something, getting an A plus, being at the top of a class, the top of a group, like winning a first prize or being recognized as the top or the best at something. Or this is like you reaching a peak in your life. And It also seems like the overwhelming emotion for you guys on this day is pride. You are very proud of yourself and what you have done, and also other people, your loved ones, are very proud of you. And I think you have a lot of admirers on this day. With the Ascendant here, this is all about you, yourself, your identity. And I think that a long time before this day, group number 1, you made a commitment to yourself to achieve a goal, to better yourself, to become the best version of yourself that you can be. And this day that we're seeing here is like a milestone where you realize that all of your efforts have really paid off. Like, wow, we really did it. With the Ascendant here, for some of you, this could have to do like with your body. So I'm thinking of like health goals, fitness goals, athletic goals, or it could be a path that you really identify with, that you have identified with for a long time, like a path that has become your whole life, something that you've really dedicated yourself to, and now you're coming out at the top. Like you're committing to your identity, and this is the day that it's really paid off, and everyone is really proud of you. So a few examples I can think of, you know, going back to the body, this could be like if you're an athlete, maybe you win a championship, or like you ran a race and you came in first place, or you committed to bettering yourself through a field of study, and this is like your graduation day and you're valedictorian or you're top of the class. It's like not only did you prove to yourself that you can do it, but you've also really excelled. Like you went above and beyond to the point that you really set yourself apart from the rest. I was going to say apart from the competition, but of course this is not necessarily a competition. It's just that you are really being recognized for your above and beyond efforts. And I think, you know, this worship card, it could be talking about other people admiring you, but also I think this worship is talking about like a dedication and a commitment that you have shown to yourself. I'm noticing as well, we have the numbers like 1 to 12. So maybe some of you guys were like working 12-hour days on this, or it was like a 12-month path that you went on. Of course, it could even be 12 years. And then this is true love. So I really feel like this commitment, it was an act of love to yourself. It came from a place of love for you and believing in your potential, and also a love for what you do. And you're doing what you love, and this is also your loved ones being proud of you. So the energies here are amazing. Let's get into the tarot now and just look a little bit more specifically at what is happening here. But yeah, there's something as well on this day where you're just really comfortable in your skin. You're happy, you're very happy with your appearance, like with the way that you look, with the way that you present to others. There could be something very validating on this day as well, because it's like people are recognizing your identity or validating your identity. And I know that this life is not about external validation, but it can feel very good to receive that from other people. So I don't know, it's like maybe you're getting a title. You have a certain title to your name or to your profession now that people really like recognize you as having a certain role. Or it's like you're really happy about the way people view you now, about the way people see you, because it's finally a reflection of who you truly are on the inside. There's a shift in your identity on this day. Like the way you look, the way you present, or like your title or your role in the world is really being established on this day. And it feels so good to be like recognized externally for what you have felt yourself to be on the inside for so long. Okay. So now we are using the Wisdom Seekers Tarot, and we're gonna see more like the specific events of the day, how the day progresses. Okay, that's a lot of cards. How is this day gonna go for group number one? Actually, what I do want to say about that little explosion of cards, because I do want to do this in a chronological order, that could be indicating that the beginning of this day is going to be very hectic. You know, the early hours, the morning hours of the day, you could be running around like getting ready for something, because judging from the energies we felt here, I do believe there is some big event that is happening to like either to celebrate you, or an event that, you know, through your success at this event is going to lead to celebration. You could be feeling nervous on the morning of this day, or it's just like very hectic getting everything ready. There's a lot of things to think about. Very like highly strung energy in the morning. You may even have trouble sleeping the night before this day, because like you know that it's something big, it's something important. I just realized too, like the ascendant, this is literally the eastern horizon, like where the sun rises. So you might have to be up at the crack of dawn on this day, or you like can't sleep and the next thing you know the sun is coming up because you were just so nervous or so excited. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Magician, another number one, interesting, because this is a very slow energy, but this is a very fast energy. So I feel like this day, it is the culmination of something that you have been working for a very long time, waiting for a very long time. And the way this is coming through is that on the journey, at times it genuinely felt like this day would never come. It maybe felt very long. It felt like it was taking forever. There could have been like delays, obstacles, periods of stagnation where really nothing was happening or you weren't making any progress. But it's funny because on this day, your feeling is not like, oh, finally it's here. It's actually like, oh shit, it's already happening. And it's one of those funny moments, like how the brain works, where, you know, leading up to it, it feels so long and it feels like you're waiting forever. But then when it finally comes, it's like, oh my God, it's already happening. Like your perception of time gets a little bit messed with. And yeah, on the day of, it's going to seem like things are happening really quickly and I can't believe this is happening. But the Magician also tells me this is really something you have manifested, and this is not what's happening here. Remember, it's a Nicki Minaj song, Moment for Life. She says something like, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Yes, I should know this better, but you're not lucky, you're blessed. Like this did not come from pure chance. This was your willpower, your hard work and dedication, your willingness to take action. And this is really, like, this day marks the beginning of a new chapter for you. And this day is a testament to you that when there's a will, there's a way, that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Like this day, you are living proof of that. I also think because this is Mercury energy, you will be receiving a lot of communications on this day. I definitely think there's loved ones around you in person who are cheering you on, celebrating you, but you're also going to be getting a lot of text messages from, you know, extended family, from acquaintances. Like, it's the type of thing that everybody notices, that everybody wants to acknowledge. And I feel like you're just trying to stay, there's another explosion of cards. You're just trying to stay grounded and really like soak it all in while it's happening. Because I also think this day is gonna go by so fast, and you might not even, I don't know if you guys have ever had a day where you were just so excited and so overwhelmed with emotion, but it's happened to me before, and like when it was all done, it was almost like I couldn't remember what happened. Like it was just a blank, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I remembered this day more. So this could also be advice to try to, and it's so easy to say, but it's so hard to do in the moment. Like take deep breaths, ground yourself, really take it all in. Try to document if you can, like if you remember to take pictures or to maybe like write in your journal that night, just something that you can really capture the fresh feelings that you had on this day. Because it's like, it's gonna be gone before you know it. It's like such a long buildup, and then it's just like over in a second. I'm imagining like a sprinter who's in the Olympics. Like they probably trained, I've never trained for the Olympics, but I imagine it's like months and months that you're training for this day, and then your sprint is like done in like a minute or whatever, or like seconds. And it's just, it's all gone in a flash. So it's like really try to just be present and soak it in. What else does group number 1 need to know about this day? Oh my gosh, we have the Empress. Wow, prosperity, fertility, a promising future. This is really just the first day of the rest of a very prosperous life for you. A lot of ways that we can interpret this card. This could be, there's something keeps coming back about you feeling beautiful and feeling comfortable in your skin, or comfortable in your body, or like happy with your appearance, and just feeling like radiant and healthy. Like your body feels very good on this day. That's coming through quite a bit. This is also a card that talks about abundance and prosperity. So this could be an amazing day for your career. Like the victory that you have on this day, the recognition that you receive could be due to your career, or it could really help your career moving forward. Like this could be something that you gain recognition for, something that you can put on your resume, and that's really gonna help you succeed more, make more money, thrive more in the future. The Empress, this could be, you know, the Empress can talk about motherhood, parenthood, childbirth. Someone could be born on this day. Like this could be the birth of a child, because that's definitely like a really exciting culmination. Especially like if someone had been trying to conceive for a long time, I can definitely see how it feels like I've been waiting for so long, but also this is happening in a flash. And that also makes sense of like feeling proud of your body and feeling confident in your body, like if you were the one giving birth. Just one interpretation of this energy, of course. The Empress could also be a mother figure or a parental figure to you, being very happy for you and proud of you on this day. And for some of you that might be very emotional, like if you had a parental figure or like a family member who maybe didn't always openly show their support, or maybe they could have been a little bit more vocal about their support for you, or they could have shown more affection and understanding. Receiving that from them on this day could be like a very sentimental thing. We have 713. July 13th could be a relevant date. 713 could also be an area code, which I don't normally mention in readings, but I think because mine is 613, so when I saw 713, my brain thought area code. Oh, and also just in case it's relevant to some of you, I should mention that this card is Mary Magdalene. else does group number 1 need to know about this day? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We also have the Four of Wands. So if you needed any more confirmation that you're being celebrated on this day, this is it. Also, especially with the imagery of this deck, how there's like 3 wands bound together and then 1 set apart. I think this is also a visual representation of you really standing apart from the rest, setting yourself apart from the rest on this day. The Four of Wands is a card of happiness, contentment, fulfillment, also feeling like you're in alignment with your purpose and your destiny. The reason I interpret the card this way is because it's sometimes referred to as the 1111 card, especially when the wands are standing upright. It really does look like 1111, which that number does make me think of destiny and alignment. So feeling happy, feeling really aligned with your purpose, like this is what I'm meant to do. This is who I'm meant to be. Another analogy of like childbirth is coming to me. I know that not everyone who chose this group is having a child, but I was just thinking back on that message that came through of this is such a happy day because finally your outward identity matches what you have felt for so long inside yourself. And I just thought of, you know, I've heard some people say, I've always felt like I'm a mother, or like I'm a parent, like I'm meant to be a mother. And so, you know, finally, if you have a child, like it matches externally what you've always like felt you're supposed to be. And of course, there's many other ways to apply that message, but it's like I always knew deep down this is who I am, this is, you know, what I was supposed to do, this is who I was meant to be. And so to finally be able to do that in my 3D reality is such a beautiful feeling. I even feel that, you know, tears of joy could be cried on this day, and with this volcano erupting in the background, I do think there's a lot of pent-up emotion that is coming out. You could be crying without really understanding why, and it's because when you were preparing for this day, I think you just had to really be disciplined, and you didn't really have the time or liberty to process these emotions. Your brain was like, no, we can't feel these right now. We just got to keep focusing on our goal. And so I think a lot of emotions got suppressed. And because there's some kind of completion on this day, all of those emotions that you suppressed on the journey, happiness, hope, stress, fear, anxiety, nerves, exhaustion, like that whole cocktail of the ups and downs that you just had to suppress so that you could keep going and stay disciplined this whole time. I feel like that could all be exploding out of you. So you're like crying, but you don't even know why. It's like, are these happy tears or sad tears? I don't know, probably both. I'm just feeling a lot of things right now. And what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, my friend did a reading for me recently. Hello, if you're watching this, Rachel. And she makes notes of her own interpretations of all of the cards. And one of her interpretations for the Four of Wands was that it's like a finish line. And you know, your family and your loved ones are waiting for you at this finish line, and you finally made it here, and they're all cheering you on. Whether that be your loved ones here on earth or your guides, your spiritual team, it's like they're all standing at that finish line and clapping and waiting for you there to receive you as you arrive. Maybe for some of you, it's a literal finish line that you're getting to, but something about this day is a finish line that you're so proud of yourself for. And I think there's just a big release of emotion. The Four of Wands also talks about a happy home, a happy family. So definitely your family is very proud of you. This can also talk about weddings and marriages. So this day could be that, but more broadly, it's a celebration. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at the bottom of the deck energy as well, and we have the Seven of Wands. I just heard don't do this again. Interesting. The way it's coming to me is like someone who trained their butt off to run a marathon, and it was really hard and really exhausting, and it's rewarding because they wanted to, you know, prove to themselves that they could do it, and they feel really happy, but then they're like, oh my god, I'm never doing that again. Or like someone who got their PhD and it was so many all-nighters and a lot of stress and so much hard work. This just felt to me right away, I'm so proud of myself, but I'm never doing that again. That was so much work. That's kind of the feeling. Or at least I'm not doing it again for a very long time, because I just need this time to celebrate how far I've come and to rest. But damn, that was hard. The Seven of Wands is really confirming that that was hard. And this is a card that's really about fighting for what matters to you and picking your battles. So there is kind of that implication that not every battle needs to be fought. The type of effort you have put in and the type of patience you have shown and the type of discipline you have shown, you don't just do that for everything. You don't just give all your might willy-nilly like that. So this is something I can see that really, really, really mattered to you. But yeah, there is definitely a feeling of exhaustion. You know, if we think of this as the timeline of the day, by the end, I think you're just exhausted and you're like, I need a break now. I just even thought of an artist, like a musician, for example, who's just been on a tour and they went to like every continent and they did, you know, hundreds of shows in a year. And they're like, oh my gosh, that was the best experience of my life, but I don't want to do that again. It's like, it was just a lot. I hope you guys know what I mean. Maybe you have felt, you know, something like this in your life before. But anyway, let's move on now to your final oracle cards. This is going to be advice from your spirit guides for how you can best make your way to this day, or, you know, any advice for you on the day. I think we're just going to leave this reading kind of open. So we have Calcite, and I've never seen this card before. So it's a new beginning card, and it's a new card for me. Like, I've had this deck for a long time, but I've never had this card come out. That's very special. That could be a sign that there's very, very few people who do what you did. There's very few people who show that kind of dedication, or who go to those lengths, or who accomplish this. It's rare, and there really is that feeling you guys went above and beyond. You guys went the extra mile. So you should be really, really proud of what you've done. Not proud because you busted your butt, but proud because you recognized that this was something that really mattered to you, and then you committed to it for yourself. Like, be proud of what you did for yourself. We also have accept and receive. Right away, I'm hearing don't be humble. That is your advice on this day, but also just in general. Don't be humble, because, I mean, obviously be humble, but don't downplay. Don't downplay your hard work or your abilities or your talents, whatever it might be. You know, the same way we spoke about 1 to 12 being, you know, like 12-hour days. 24 is making me think 24/7. Some of you have really put in the hours for this. You've been grinding 24/7. Accept and receive. Like, if anyone deserves this, it's you. And I think this is talking about receiving the fruits of your labor, but also receiving the praise, receiving the compliments, the congratulations, the recognition, the awards, whatever it might be, graciously receiving those. You'll find on this day, like we talked about, it's funny how the brain works. Before this happens, you're like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. How much longer do I have to wait? But then on the day, you're like, oh my God, it's already happening. And I think in the same way, before this happens, you're like, why haven't I received my blessings yet? Like, did I do something wrong? Why isn't the universe giving me my blessings? But then when it does come, you're suddenly like, what did I do to deserve this? Why me? Like, I feel like I don't deserve this. Like, the brain is just weird like that. The brain is tricky like that. It's just, it's all relative. So you might have these weird feelings on this day, like, why me? In a good way. Like, why do I get to receive this amazing blessing? And just don't forget how much energy and time and work you've put in to earn this. Yes, be grateful for your blessing, of course, but know deep down that you are worthy of this, and receive it graciously, and also receive all of the praise and external validation and all the well wishes and all the messages, because you are going to be flooded with messages from people on this day. There's also for some of you a feeling of, it's like, I don't know if estranged is kind of a strong word, but the way it came through was like an estranged loved one who is coming around to say that they're proud of you, or to tell you they love you, or to apologize. So this kind of the feeling of someone wasn't quite supportive of you for this whole journey. I think that's just for some of you, but you know, even then, you know, it's up to you if you forgive them or let them back into your life, if this resonates with you. But just, you know, accept what they're saying, just receive it. Even if they're just coming to say, I'm sorry, you can just say thank you, or I'm proud of you, thank you, just accept it. And then your final card is masks. Interesting, because we were talking a lot about your identity in this group and feeling like you're finally who you're supposed to be. Hiding, safety, ruled by desire to fit in, fear of standing out, beholden to the collective. Use your masks, but with discernment. I love this card. I'm very familiar with the cards of this deck. I love using this deck. Use your masks, but with discernment. Since I initially got this deck, that phrase has just really stood out to me, because it's using your masks from a place of empowerment. You know, I'm choosing to put this mask on to interact in this situation because it will best serve me. I'm not forced to wear this mask to survive. I'm not shamed into wearing this mask. I don't feel pressure to wear this mask to hide who I am. It's an empowered choice that I'm making. You know, this is the facet of me that I want to show in this situation. So you are really reclaiming the control of how you present yourself and how other people see you. And that could be something inherent to what is happening on this day, or just, I don't know, a confidence that you gain on this day. I get to choose what parts of me I prioritize. I get to choose what parts of me I portray. I'm not forced to show my identity as this or that to survive or to be accepted or like to feel safe and comfortable. Now I get to be whoever I want. You know, and we all have masks. I think nobody's the exact same person around everyone. But now you are in charge of which mask you get to wear. You are in charge of that. Beautiful. I don't know if that was advice. I think it's just, I mean, it could be, you know, use your masks with discernment, but I think more so for you guys, it's just your guides letting you know what is happening for you. Wow. Should we briefly go over zodiac placements? I don't know, it could be helpful. Could be a little confirmation. So we have Taurus. This is Mercury, so Gemini, Virgo, Taurus again, Libra, Leo, and, Aries and Leo. That was a lot, but I just wanted to mention those. Okay, so, yeah, especially like if you or someone you know has a rising in those signs, they could be significant. But anyway, I don't feel like those are super relevant. I just wanted to mention them. So Those are all the messages I have for you guys. Yeah. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have a link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive timeless readings just like this one, and you can also suggest topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song, and I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I'm so grateful to have you here, and thank you for letting me have a little sneak peek on this day. This, just looking at this, really boosted my own energy. If I'm getting a little personal, things are not great for me right now, so getting to witness this happy day and kind of be there with you in spirit was really nice. And I hope, I don't know when this day is happening, but if you think of it, I will be there. That sounds creepy. I will be there in spirit cheering you on this day, whenever it might happen. I'm already there. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. Thank you guys so much. I'm sending lots of love to you, to everyone who is present on this day, to everyone who helped get you to this day, to everyone who is there in spirit. I'm sending them love, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the Amethyst, this is going to be a reading all about a happy day in your future. So after doing group number one, I think I want to be a lot more open with the format of this reading and which messages come out where. But basically, we're gonna see the overall energies of this day and what's happening and how you're feeling, why it's so significant. And then at the end of the reading, we'll get some messages and advice from your spirit guides. So let's get right into it. We're gonna start off with these oracle cards to get the overall vibes and the overall emotions of the day. So we are starting off with shadows. Then we have Monoceros with purity. And then, ooh, we have a journey, and this is Sarasvati. Okay, so with shadows and purity coming out together, there is a feeling of a huge weight being lifted. I think that the overall emotion of this day is one of like a big release. And then with that comes a huge relief and a huge sense of inner peace. And there's also a feeling of being whole and complete and loving yourself fully. Seeing the wholeness of yourself and loving the wholeness of yourself. There are a few different ways to interpret this in terms of how this plays out in your reality. One thing that I could definitely see happening on this day is you making peace with your shadows. So you looking at a part of yourself that historically had been difficult to admit was there, or difficult to accept, or difficult to love, and saying to that part of yourself, I see you, there's nothing wrong with you, I accept you, and I love you. Like you are embracing all of yourself. I even want to say coming home to yourself. There could also be something that you are releasing shame about on this day. Something that happened in your past, whether that was a traumatic incident or a mistake that you made, whatever it might be, you're coming to terms that it wasn't your fault, that you were doing the best you could with the knowledge and the resources you had at that time, and releasing any feelings of guilt and shame surrounding your past. Something that felt dark or heavy, or something that was hidden, is coming to light, and you're no longer ashamed about it. You're no longer upset about it. It feels like a very healing energy. Another way I could interpret this, okay, there's a couple more coming. One could be that you are, I think vindicated is the word. So if there were false narratives going around about you, if people had a perception of you that was not correct, people misunderstanding your intentions, or people purposefully saying things about you that were not quite true, this could be a day where the truth is coming to light. And so your good intentions are being proven. Your innocence in this situation is being proven. Some of you could be getting justice if you're in any kind of, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be in a legal situation, but if you are going through some kind of legal troubles where you feel like your name is not being represented fairly, when the truth comes to light, it is going to show your integrity. It is going to show your innocence. There's a feeling of blame is being released, or some shame that you had to carry is being released. For others, there is an interpretation of, on this day, a secret comes out, or something that was once hidden comes out, and the reality of the situation is not bad. It's much better than you expected. I just saw 444 as I looked up at the camera timer. So, for example, maybe there was someone's history that you didn't know about, or someone's true feelings, intentions, someone's true actions that you didn't know about, you know, that was hidden from you. And when it comes to light, what they're all about, or what really happened, it's a relief. Because maybe your brain was telling you all these stories about the worst possible scenario, and when you do actually hear the truth, or when you do actually hear what happened, it's like the best possible thing. And then all of your worries just get lifted. So I know that was a lot of different ways to interpret this energy. You may resonate with one, you may resonate with many, but the overall feeling is just that a huge weight is being lifted from you. So there's something that you don't have to worry about anymore. The truth coming out here is a very good thing. And then others of you, like, you're releasing, I'm not going to be ashamed of this part of me anymore. Or like, what happened in my past that wasn't my fault. Some of you maybe even, like, you have a false memory that paints you in a bad light. So it's like this whole time you've been carrying guilt and shame for past actions of yours, but the way your brain remembers the story is not quite accurate. And so someone could be helping you rectify the story, then you realize, oh, I actually didn't do anything wrong, or it wasn't as bad as my brain had me remembering it. Anyway, I hope that all makes sense. And then we have this card that talks about a journey, and I'll have to refresh my memory. I'll put a subtitle if I'm wrong, but I believe that Sarasvati is a goddess of like art and education and literature. I'll put more, perhaps music as well. Well, I mean, music is art, but I'll put more in a subtitle. I have to put something to remind myself to do that. Okay, I put a candle because when I stop filming, I'll be like, why is that candle there? And then it will remind me to look her up. I just randomly pulled this one out of my box of candles, and it happens to be a heart chakra candle, which could be significant for you guys. But let's talk about this journey. I definitely think this is referring to a journey inward that you are going on, perhaps a journey to the past, to revisit events and look at them with a fresh, less judgmental pair of eyes. This could also be literally referring to an external journey that you go on. There could be some traveling that you do, a trip that you go on that brings you a new perspective, that reframes events of your past, or there could just be a trip that you go on that is very healing and that you feel a huge release happening within you. There could also be a prediction here that you will be traveling for studies or traveling for your work, traveling for creative purposes, to further expand on your skills, your interests, traveling for one of your hobbies. There's something like that going on with this card as well. I also want to point out we have the numbers 28 and 32. This could be an age range for some of you, that like this is happening within this age range, or if you're in this range or you are about to be, it could be a really, really healing time of your life, the ages between 28 and 32. If you are already past this age, it could be that the next 4 years for you is going to be a huge healing time. The version of you in 4 years from now is going to be a lot more peaceful and kind to themselves and forgiving of themselves than the current version of you. So let's get into the tarot now. And see if there's anything else that you need to know about this day. What else does group number 2 need to know about this day? We have the Emperor. We have the Eight of Wands. I want to just take, for some reason today, I really only want to take cards that fall out one at a time. So if you see me, like, if you see cards falling out and I'm putting them back, it's because like multiple came out. And I just really want to do one at a time today. I don't know why. We have the Fool. Oh, wow, okay. And then we have the Three of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, whenever I get this card, when we're talking about like spiritual growth or when we're talking about healing, it just gives me the feeling of breaking generational trauma, healing generational wounds, because the Ten of Pentacles, it is very much a family card, and it can also talk about your legacy, your descendants, the foundation that you've built and what you're leaving behind. And so for those of you, well, actually, it doesn't matter if you have children or will have children, there's just a feeling of this trauma ends with you, or this darkness ends with you. And the wounds that you have been dealing with throughout your life, it could be something that your parents dealt with, your grandparents dealt with. I don't know if they openly spoke about it or not. For some of you, I think that there is something that like the older generations in your family would judge or criticize you for, but it was really a projection. And deep down, when they pointed the finger and judged you, what they were really doing was judging the part of themselves that could relate to you. So, you know, they're judging you because they received that judgment. And rather than learning to accept themselves and heal themselves, they're just perpetuating that judgment or perpetuating that shame. And I feel like that ends with you. That ends with you guys, group number 2. If you do have children, or if you will have children in the future, they will definitely not have to deal with this same pain. Whatever shadows you have dealt with will not hurt them, will not be passed down to them. I feel like you're really making sure of that. And for those of you who do have children, maybe this happy day has to do with, you know, seeing your children thrive and not be haunted or not be hurt by the same things that you were. Maybe something happening on this day is like ensuring the security of your children or of your long-term future. But the work that you have done to heal yourself and to accept yourself here, it is going to last in the long term. So in the long term of your own life, and then if you do have descendants, the work that you've done here is going to make things easier for them as well, better for them. What is interesting with this Fool, when this card first came out, I immediately thought of this Journey card. You can see here the Fool is taking a leap of faith, although in this deck the Fool looks a little bit reluctant to do it, but they're just going for it. The number 0, it indicates a clean slate that is happening. And so I have a feeling for this group, this healing that you're going through is going to push you to finally do something that you've always wanted to do, but that always felt kind of out there for you. Like maybe there's a country you've always wanted to travel to, or a place that you've always wanted to move to, or there's a class that you've always wanted to take. You've always wanted to study this, you've always wanted to pursue that, you've always wanted to try this job. Like something big that you've always wanted to do, but you would always kind of dismiss it or brush it off or procrastinate on it. And now that you've done this healing, I think you're realizing that deep down something that was holding you back was either a fear of judgment, or like a crippling fear of failure, because maybe you felt that I'm not allowed to try things, I'm not allowed to make mistakes, I have to know exactly what I'm doing all the time, and I can't do spontaneous things like this. What's the point of doing something if I'm not going to get it perfectly on the first try? Like this is the type of thing that we can be really conditioned to believe. And there's something about after you go through this healing, you realize the real reason you weren't taking this leap of faith. It wasn't because you were procrastinating. It wasn't it wasn't for any rational, well, wait, procrastinating is not, whatever. You know what I mean? It was for a deeper reason. It was a fear of, what if I try it out and I don't get it perfect on the first try? Or maybe deep down there was a feeling of like, I don't deserve to go on these adventures and have an amazing fun life. I need to be doing XYZ instead. Like a sense of duty or a sense of pressure that you needed to be somewhere else. And now that this weight has been lifted, you're like, you know what, let me finally take this leap of faith. Let me finally make this move or go on this trip or take this study path, whatever it might be for you. Let me finally do that. It's really like something has been wiped clean for you. A burden that you thought you would always carry, a fear and insecurity that you always thought you would have. There's like a breakthrough and it's being wiped. And with the 8 of Wands here, I do think you're going to find that you start to manifest things more quickly. Because with this group, it's like there's so much shame and feelings of unworthiness that was blocking you from manifesting your desires. Or again, there was this unconscious sense of duty. Your brain maybe associated doing what you want with neglecting your duties, and doing what you don't want with being honorable, being responsible, being selfless. Your brain associates, when I'm doing something I dread, when I'm doing something I don't want to do, it's because I'm sacrificing for others. It's because I'm being responsible, I'm honoring my duties. If I go and do what I want, it means I'm being irresponsible, I'm being reckless, I'm being selfish. So I think that's being lifted. And when you heal those wounds, you're going to find you start to manifest way more, way faster, way easier, because those subconscious blockages are not there. With the Emperor here, this is you gaining your independence, really coming into your own and being the boss of your own life, being the main character of your own life. When you allowing yourself to be controlled or held back by your own thoughts or by your own beliefs, even if there's no one externally holding you back, that pattern could be perpetuated inside your own mind. Like the person could be long gone, but their impact on you is still there because your brain is now playing their role and judging you and holding you back. I hope that makes sense. This is you really reclaiming your independence, reclaiming your power, being the boss of your own life and deciding what you want to do for yourself. And I really feel for this group. It's like there's shame that has been so deeply linked to like doing what you want to do, shame surrounding doing what you want to do. That is very subjective. That to an outsider might appear strange, you know, like I have shame around pursuing this career, around investing in this hobby, around doing these studies, around traveling to this place. And an outsider looking in would be like, why? Like, that's not even an inherently shameful thing. What are you talking about? But it's like, there's so much conditioning that has gone into it. With the Emperor, again, this could be from a parental figure, especially a father, or a strong masculine presence that was in your life, because the Emperor is masculine energy. It could, if it's not literally your father, it could be patriarchy. The patriarchy, how our masculine dominated society, that could be what has caused you to internalize shame and judgment for how you want to live your life and what you want to pursue. But I just thought for some of you with these two cards, a catalyst to this healing or part of this healing could be receiving communication from this parental figure, receiving communication from this paternal figure. Even if they're no longer on this earth, just receiving some kind of message from them. It could help to break the curse, so to speak, to break the cycle. And the Fool card is you finally being free to go and do what you want without feeling bad, without looking back like you have some sense of duty to stay where you are and to stay in your box. There's a whole identity that you might be leaving behind. An identity that didn't make you happy, but that at least made you accepted, that at least didn't rock the boat. And so even when you have the opportunity to walk away from it, there still may be a part of you that, that keeps looking back, because it's just because it's what you know. And the Three of Swords does indicate sadness, stress, all of those kind of negative emotions. Now, this is obviously a happy day for you when you finally feel free, when you finally feel at peace, when you make this break and take this leap of faith. And yeah, for a lot of you, you're expanding your horizons, like you're traveling somewhere or you're embarking on a new path of study, on a new career path, because it's what you've always wanted to do, and like you're not holding yourself back from that anymore. So yes, this is a very happy day in the course of your life. I think the Three of Swords being at the end here is just indicating that there's still going to be ups and downs, or these feelings could revisit sometimes. And that's normal. The journey of healing is definitely not completely linear. And these feelings can come and go in waves, but the waves will get smaller and smaller they will be fewer and farther between. So if old emotions ever come up, don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself the time and space to process them, and they will pass. It's like, okay, let's say in the example, I'm thinking of the example of the legal situation, like where the truth comes out about you and your innocence and your integrity has been proven. Let's say you won the court case and you got, I don't know, you got a settlement or whatever it might be. This is just a hypothetical example. Sure, on paper, everything has been rectified. On the outside, it looks like everything has been corrected. The person who betrayed you or the person who slandered you, they got their punishment, they got their karma, you got what you deserved, your reputation has been restored. On the outside, it looks like everything has been rectified. That doesn't mean that there won't be any days in the future that you still feel hurt by what happened. And I think there's a piece of advice to not invalidate yourself when that happens. Like, what do you have to be upset about? Everything's been fixed. You got what you wanted, and that person got what was coming to them, and everyone knows you're a good person. Like, just because it's been fixed, it doesn't mean that you just, like, a switch goes off and you suddenly don't think about it or you suddenly don't hurt. So if little moments like that come up, I think your guides just want you to not judge yourself and allow yourself to feel those things, while of course reassuring to yourself that, you know, that's gone, it can't hurt you anymore, you are safe. But it's okay, it's just, you know, your brain or your body's having a reaction, and we need to be patient and kind and loving towards it. So finally, let's take a look at some oracle cards. These will be messages and advice from your spirit guides. We have Ruby with Shine. Yeah, you are really, I just heard taking the stage, taking the main stage. You are really stepping into the main character role of your life. Looking at this red color, moving forward from this day, you are definitely living a life of passion. And I think something that's going to be very close to your heart as well is inspiring others to do the same, helping others to live their life of passion as well. Ruby is the birthstone of July, so a July born person could be significant, or July born person or the month of July could be a significant time. We also have fearless expression, and we have the number 55, so this indicates radical change coming into your life. It's also like the 5th chakra, the throat chakra. Interesting that we have shine and fearless expression. I'm not hiding away anymore. I'm speaking my truth now. I will no longer silence myself. It could be very therapeutic for you and also very helpful to others out there, if you wanted to talk about your experience, talk about or write about what happened. And there's just a feeling of you will not be silenced anymore. I think you're just really done hiding away. You're really done shoving yourself in a little box to not inconvenience anyone and sticking to the rigid role that was decided for you. You're done. You're done depriving yourself of your light and depriving the world of your light. And then we have contrition. It's a gift. Do not be apologetic. Yeah, same vibe. Do not be apologetic about your creations. Surely you asked for this, so why the meekness? Okay, in this era, we're embodying some fire energy, some Aries energy, I think. Well, actually, fire in general. If you have fire placements, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, those placements could really be jumping out during this time, like you're really embodying them, or learning more about those placements and what they mean. That could be a very empowering experience for you, like recognizing, damn, this energy is in me. And actually we do have Aries energy here and Sagittarius energy here. And this could be Leo because it's the month of July. There's some July Leos. Maybe that's a reach, but there's definitely strong fire energy here, and this is what your guides want you to embody. And to not be apologetic for who you are. And also, you know, this, surely you ask for this, so why the meekness? I feel like there's a piece of advice to not backpedal and to really double down on your assertions. So an example that's coming to my mind, and I'm kind of guilty of doing this, like if let's say someone overstepped a boundary or someone upset me, I will, you know, work myself up to be assertive about it and tell them, you know, this bothered me, this didn't make me feel good. And then if they come back and they're super apologetic about it, I immediately have this urge to be like, oh no, it's okay, like it really wasn't a big deal. Because I think when I get that apologetic or recognition from them, I'm like, I eat it up. And then I want to fawn on them, I think is the word. And so then, you know, they give me a crumb of what I was looking for and I'm like, oh no, it's fine. Like it wasn't really a big deal anyway, like never mind. I don't know if you guys have this experience as well, but in that example, you stay true to your initial feeling. So if you're like, hey, that was effed up what you did, and they say, oh, I'm sorry, you go, yeah. Yeah, you are. Not really, but you know, thank you for apologizing, and don't lose that initial feeling. Hold people accountable, and hold yourself accountable to continue standing up for yourself. And just know that you deserve more. I think this is your era of being assertive, of being loud, of being unapologetic, and not feeling bad for taking up space, not feeling bad for who you are, not feeling bad for having your needs and your desires and your expectations. Like, these are my needs and I expect them to be met. Doesn't have to be by you. If you don't like it, you don't have to stick around, but this is who I am. This is who I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna be loud so that those who are a match to me can find me. You're like a fireball lighting up the sky, like a sun. That's you. That's your energy in this chapter. You are coming out of a more, like, I want to say submissive or like meek or quiet or small energy that you kind of got pressured into or shamed into. And you're like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, like you've associated your purity with just being like non-confrontational and like as small as possible. I don't want to inconvenience anyone. I don't want to impose. And you're realizing like I can be loud and fearless and still be a pure soul. This is, and I don't know if this is like one specific day. I feel like this probably spans over many days because, you know, it's a healing journey. But this is all about releasing shame, releasing burdens, and empowering yourself. And it's gonna lead to many days of passion, like just unapologetically following your passion. So, group number 2, those are all the messages I have for you. Yes, thank you, Saraswati. Reminder, Kendall. We are gonna look into her a little bit more, and if there's anything else I feel like that comes up about her that feels relevant to this reading, I probably already put it in a subtitle, so this is just me talking to myself. But thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching this, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive timeless readings just like this one, and you can also suggest topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. I just very strongly smelled incense. It smells like the incense that would be in a temple. Interesting. So thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I really appreciate you having here, and it's an honor to be able to witness your growth and the amazing days that are ahead for you. Thank you for letting me have a little sneak peek into this time of your life. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to everybody who is involved in the situation, and everybody who is playing or has played a role in this transformation of yours. I'm sending love to them, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Caribbean Calcite, this is going to be a reading all about a happy day in your future. So we're gonna start off by looking at the overall energy of this day, the main emotions, and why this day is so significant. And then we're going to see what's happening during this day. And then we're going to finish off the reading with messages and advice from your spirit guides. So let's get right into it, starting with these oracle cards. We have birds. We have, maybe this is Groose, I don't know how to pronounce that, but the keyword is overcome. And then we have protection. Okay, I just have to say it, this is a very literal message, but for some of you, this happy day, it could literally involve birds, like getting a pet bird or going bird watching, if that's something that you're into. I feel like for most of you guys who chose this group, this bird's message is going to be a little bit more metaphorical, but I did want to mention that. With this overcome energy here, it's pretty clear that this happy day in your future does involve you overcoming some kind of blockage or obstacle that has been in your way, sort of like the hard part of a situation is over and now you can relax, and there's a sense of freedom that comes with this as well. I'm thinking of that expression, being free as a bird. Also, this keyword nature here, the phrase out of the woods is coming to my mind. It's like you've gotten over the hard part of something and now you're out of the woods. If there is a particular area of your life that you have really felt blocked in, like you're trying to manifest things in this area of your life and it's just not happening, this could be a day where it really feels like that blockage has been removed and you're finally starting to see progress in this area of your life. It could be you're overcoming financial challenges, health challenges, or just anything you've been trying to manifest that it feels like you keep hitting against a wall. That blockage is finally being lifted. I'm also thinking of a bird like flying over a mountain. You're getting over a tough time. For some of you, this could be like if you went through a tough screening period, a training period, an evaluation period. This could be the day where that's over and you know that you made it through, you passed with flying colors, you succeeded. Birds also make me think of communication and receiving messages. So for some of you, this is a day where you will receive back like a positive result that you were waiting for. So maybe you were waiting for the results of something and you're like really nervous about it, if it's going to be okay. And this is letting you know that yes, you are going to get the result that you wanted. Or if you were just waiting to hear back from someone and feeling a little bit antsy about it, this could be the day that they finally do reach out to you. This overcome, it could also be talking about a reconciliation. So you could be receiving communication from someone you've been wanting to hear from, and that leads to a reconciliation or to a reunion with them. I'm also just realizing we have the number 19 on this Birds card, which is the number of the Sun card in tarot, which has that feeling of the sun rising after a long dark night. It has the feeling of like worries being lifted and now you're in a carefree and happy energy. It also has the feeling of things being exposed or things coming to light. So there is a feeling of you receiving good news, or you receiving a message, like a letter, an email, a text, whatever it might be, that puts an end to a period that was like stressful, or like you were biting your nails waiting to hear this result and like everything is fine, like you passed, or there's nothing of concern, and now all the hard and stressful stuff is over and you can just be free from that worry. You're free from worries and you're free from blockages. And yeah, I think that's why this protection message is there. Like you and your loved ones are safe, and your desires, what you've been working towards, was also closely protected by your spiritual team, by your spirit guides. Like nothing could come in and ruin this manifestation, because like this desire was meant to be brought to fruition for you. I'm just noticing we have the number 35 as well. Someone age 35 could be significant in the situation, or that could be a really important age for you, like a really happy age if that's coming up. Also, if we put these together, it says 1935. So someone born in 1935 could be significant, whether they're here on Earth or watching over you on the other side. And it could also be a time like 7:35 p.m. Like that's very specific, but if that's someone's birth time, it could be a sign that they're significant. So I feel like I said a lot of stuff there. So just to recap everything nicely, this is a day where you are overcoming a challenge or obstacle that has been kind of lingering over you, where you're removing blockages to something that you have been trying to manifest, where a stagnant area of your life is finally making progress. This could also be a day where you're hearing back really good news that you have been waiting for, like a good result, or hearing from a person that you've really wanted to hear from, and like all your worries surrounding that connection just being lifted. It could be the day of a reconciliation or a reunion for you. And also where you're passing a test. That was another message here. Like a stressful period of testing or screening or evaluation is over and you passed and everything is fine. That's a lot of stuff. So we're gonna get into the tarot and just really see what is happening during this day. Also, I should say, like, if multiple of those interpretations resonate with you, you can definitely claim all of them. Okay. What else does group number 3 need to know about this happy day? Okay, we have the High Priestess. Oh, interesting. Okay. Couple meanings to that one, but it's very interesting. Then we have Justice. The Princess of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. I don't know if I have to cover this, but I will just in case. then we have the Four of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. So I actually do feel called to mention the zodiac astrological placements that are present here. I didn't feel like it was super relevant in the other groups, but for this one, I feel called to mention them for some reason. First of all, we have Cancer, especially the moon in Cancer. This is the moon in Cancer. This is Capricorn, especially Jupiter in Capricorn. And it's interesting that, you know, we have a water sign here and an earth sign here. We have a water sign here and an earth sign here. So water and earth signs could be significant, or someone who has like strong water and earth placements. And then we have Libra here, Libra energy. Okay, the thing that's interesting about the High Priestess, there's a couple things. First of all, I do think that whatever you're manifesting here, it is something that you have felt intuitively for a long time, that it's meant to come into your life, but that your 3D reality hasn't necessarily reflected. And now I'm just realizing it's so interesting that we have the number 35 here, because 3 and 5 together, it does sometimes remind me of, you know, the duality of the 3D and the 5D, and sort of seeing how much our 3D experience and 5D experience is aligned. So the feeling that I'm getting for you guys is like, it's like you have felt intuitively for a long time that this change is coming in a certain area of your life, that you're manifesting something in a certain area of your life. But then when you look around at your 3D reality, it doesn't really reflect that. And finally, I think this is a day where everything you have felt intuitively, everything you have picked up on energetically is going to be reflected in your 3D reality. So it's almost like that gap is going to be closing. However, another thing that came to me with this card that I thought was kind of cool, especially in contrast to some other groups, is that when you wake up on this day, like, you're not gonna know today is the day. So this is not really something that is planned or scheduled, you know, like, oh, it's, I don't know, it's September 2nd, like, this is the day that I find out. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like something that could come in at any time, or that could come in unexpectedly. And that's just interesting, because other groups in this reading, it was very much like, you wake up and you're like, today's the day, it's happening. And there's not really that feeling here. There's a feeling of like, you don't know that something amazing is about to happen to you today. With Justice here, what I definitely pick up from this is that some sort of contract is going to be formed on this day, or some sort of commitment within a partnership is going to happen on this day. So, you know, we spoke a little bit about the energies of this day in the oracle cards. So in the instance that you are passing a test, you know, you're coming out of a tough screening phase or a tough testing phase, this could be, you know, someone who was going through really tough training for a job, and then the employer says, we want to, what do you call it? We want to sign you to work for us full time. You get what I'm saying. It's like, you passed the test and now you can have this long-term contract with us, or you passed the probation period of something and so now you have a full license to do XYZ. There's a feeling of you passed the tough period, and now what you've gained is going to be set in stone. Like, it's going to be in writing. It's going to be in a contract. Or you reached the number of years and now you can get permanent residency. It's like you met the time requirements for something so that now your position can be more permanent. Like in your job, in your living situation, whatever it might be. You met the requirements, you passed the test. And it's interesting because we also have that message of you not seeing it coming. Which, when you think about time requirements being met, like, that's a very set length of time, right? So maybe this is a day where you find out that the requirements were not as strict as you thought, or like you didn't realize. Like I'm imagining a student being like, wait a minute, I do have enough credits to graduate, or like, wait a minute, I don't have to take that class. It's coming faster than you thought, or like it's easier than you thought, or there's something about that where you're like, holy crap, and you suddenly feel very freed, and like you don't have to be watching your back so much. Like, wait a minute, I already have enough money to do XYZ, or like I've already worked enough hours to meet this requirement. Like, damn, okay. and then yeah, the Justice card, it's like your position is being solidified. This could also be, you know, in the case that you're hearing communication from someone, like you've been waiting for someone's message. This Justice card could also be saying this message is going to lead to a more solid commitment with this person. So it's not like they're just popping in to say hi and then you're not going to hear from them for weeks or months again. It's like they're popping in. You may not have expected to hear from them today, but they are here to stay. Whatever is happening on this day, it's leading to a long-term commitment. And this is also about like all the energy that you've been putting out is coming back to you. I feel like the High Priestess was talking about your 3D reality finally matching what you have felt in your 5D reality. And the Justice card is talking about, you know, all the energy that you have invested is now coming back to you. So if you've really been investing energy in a connection, that person or people is going to finally reciprocate that energy back to you. Justice is really like you're getting what you deserve. You're getting what's coming to you. I think this group, you have a lot of female spirit guides. You could have a lot of female ancestors who are working with you, or female deities who favor you, or your spirit guides could just have a feminine energy, because all of the humans appearing on these cards are feminine. And then we have, I mean, this is a feminine deck, but we do have two females. Or I don't know about the baby. We don't know about the baby, but this is definitely a mother. This is actually the Virgin Mary on this card. Yeah, so feminine or motherly, like spiritual presence seems to be around you. Also deer could be like, especially doe, a deer, a female deer could be a significant spirit animal for you guys. Maybe the Sound of Music is significant because that song is from The Sound of Music. And this person is even playing a harp. So music in general could just be like really close to your heart. There may be certain songs that remind you of your spirit guide or of a loved one who's on the other side, or your spirit guides may communicate to you through music. This may even be your sign to learn a musical instrument or pick it back up if you haven't played it in a while, or to pursue or continue down a musical career path. I do want to mention that. And then, yeah, we have this Princess of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. So there is an offer being made to you on this day that is very promising for your future. It's going to bring stability and security to your future. And it's being solidified on this day. That's important to note, because Pentacles, it's something that is grounded in physical, tangible reality. So we're not just talking about it, we're not just intending it, it is solidifying and firming up on this day. So, you know, the contract is signed, you're hired, you have this set salary that you can count on getting every month or every year, whatever it is. You have your benefits, like you're taken care of, or like we're getting into this committed relationship. It's not just you telling me you feel this and that way about me, or saying you want this and that with me. You're actually committing to being in the partnership. So this is a day where that really becomes tangible. And this day, because, you know, pages represent new beginnings, this day really does feel, yeah, it feels like a new beginning for you. And the Two of Pentacles also makes me think of a partnership. We have the number 2 here. We have the number 11, which reduces to 2. And then we have another 2 here. We have a 4, which is 2 2s. Reaching a bit with that one. But there's lots of 2s present here. So there is some partnership that is coming out of this day. Leos could also be significant because we have that, you know, this is the sun, the number of the sun. There's a stable and secure partnership. Even like the 2 little deer in the background. It's so sweet. That is coming out of this day. And again, with the 4 of Cups, there's a feeling of like, you didn't see it coming. You might actually wake up on this day in a bad mood. Or you're either like in a bad mood and you think it's going to be a bad day, or you just wake up bored and like tired of it. And you just feel like, oh, this is going to be another one of those boring, monotonous days. Like nothing's going to happen, because you see this ship is anchored. It's not going anywhere. And the 4 of Cups, it does have that kind of boring, monotonous, even like apathetic kind of feeling. This could be coming in at a time where you've just kind of lost hope and you're kind of over it. And it's like you really don't, it doesn't seem like a special day at all. It's just going through the motions, and then, you know, all of a sudden you get this message and everything has changed. This is what it feels like. It's like, let's say you're this person. I mean, you are a person, but let's say you're like, I need to keep working until I have $100,000 in my bank account. And according to your calculations, that's going to take you 5 years. And so you just woke up, it's year 2. And you're like, okay, here we go again. Like, I'm going to work again. Another day, another dollar. And like, you don't really see the end on the horizon. All of a sudden, you get an email or you get a text or whatever. You won the lottery, you won $100,000. So it's like you saw this like long, dreadful journey ahead of you that like you anticipated it was going to take X amount of time, and then like everything just changes. Wow. That's awesome. And then, you know, it's funny, like obviously we don't see it on this deck, but in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, for example, you would see a ship sailing on a really rocky sea. So we woke up thinking we're gonna stay here and nothing's gonna happen, to all of a sudden now we have to navigate the waves of change. You know, you woke up thinking, I'm gonna be here for another 3 years. By the end of the day, you're calling movers and you're booking plane tickets. That's just an example, but it's like, if you told me this morning that I was gonna be making all these arrangements at the end of the day because I'm about to like set sail and have this big change in my life, like I wouldn't believe you. Like all of a sudden things are changing, and you know, this is about having to juggle, like navigating those waves of change, and you're still kind of straddling like your old life and your new life and trying to make arrangements. This is kind of the energy of I have my new apartment, but I still also have my old one, and I still have stuff in there. And so like I'm sleeping at my new place sometimes and sleeping at my old place sometimes, just while I move all this stuff out. And then, you know, I have to like call to get the utilities stopped, and like still making arrangements. So that's kind of the energy that you're going to be in. And I think it's going to be hectic, but also like it's so freaking exciting that this change is happening sooner than you thought. It's, you know what it's kind of like? I'm about to tell a story about myself, but when Japan was closed, because you know, Japan was closed for a long time during the, you know, situation. And the like visa services, there's like a foreigners call center, and my partner called them like in Japan, and they were like, oh yeah, once the borders open again, like everyone's going to be rushing to apply for their visa at the same time, and we can only process a certain number per day, so it's probably going to take like months for you to get your visa. So I'm already mentally prepared that it's going to be months. And then I like went to apply for my visa, and it freaking took like 2 days. And so I was like, oh shit, it's happening. Like, we gotta pack our bags. Like, it's that kind of feeling, but it's very positive. It's very welcome. Ooh, okay. So for the last part of this reading, this is just gonna be any messages and advice that your guides would like to leave with you as you journey towards this day. We have Shadowkite with teacher. You could be a teacher, you could be getting a job as a teacher, or a teacher could be significant. Someone you're coming into a partnership with could be some kind of teacher, instructor, coach. Yeah. Then we have Creator Earth. So very interesting how Earth signs seem to be significant, and then Creator Earth is coming out. If you start to attract a lot of earth signs, that could be a sign that you're on the right path. There could also be an earth placement that you have in your birth chart. So that's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn that is calling to you, that wants to be learned about more, that wants to be expressed more. So let's say, for example, you have a Capricorn moon, or you have a Venus in Virgo, or you have a Mars in Capricorn. It's like, did I say Capricorn twice? Whatever. Those, or a Taurus rising. That earth placement you have, I think it has something to teach you, or it wants to help influence your life right now. So this may be a time to get in touch with your earth placements. They could be helpful. The more you get in touch with your earth placements, I'm hearing, the more it will help you understand someone important who's going to come into your life. So for example, maybe there's a really important Virgo coming into your life, and if you learn more about your own Virgo placements or how Virgo affects your birth chart, it could help you empathize with that Virgo person more, or like understand where they're coming from, if you find the aspects of yourself that relate to them. I hope that that makes sense. I also think, this is another confirmation of things really being grounded in your 3D reality, because again, that element of earth, it's your tangible reality. It's here, it's grounded, you can rely on it. So really another confirmation that your 3D reality is going to start reflecting like what you've intuitively felt for yourself. And then we have seasons, creative seasons. Creative expression has its seasons. Winter may seem like a void, but there is no endless summer. Recover, hibernate, prepare. Spring thaws you out. That makes sense, because I feel like you guys have been either in a winter season of your life or in a nighttime season, like of waiting, of preparing, waiting for the sun to rise, waiting for spring to come, waiting for things to finally be set into motion, waiting for something to be lifted, like some period of time to be lifted, some rule or regulation or restriction to be lifted, some burden to be lifted. And that's the spring that's coming for you. And I think your guides just want to remind you that this is a normal part of life. There's no summer can last forever, and that's not supposed to be depressing, like the good times can't last forever. It's that you shouldn't beat yourself up for having a winter season, because that's just the natural order of things. Everybody goes through these cycles and seasons in their life. And I think there's also just a message that change is really the only constant in this life. Like, nothing is going to be in the same state forever. So when you're in the winter, when you're in your down periods, know that that's not going to last forever. It literally can't. And when you're in your up periods and you're on season, know that that's not going to last forever, so that you can really cherish those moments. And also just not let anything get to your head, Yes. So my group number 3s, I also want to say the letter S could be significant, because we have like Shadowkite and seasons, repeating S's. And also, I mean, this is kind of an S word, because protection, and kind of shugal. But anyway, yeah. Group number 3s, those are all the messages I have for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below, my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch a ton of exclusive, timeless readings just like this one, and also choose the topics for future readings. And I'm going to link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song, and I also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I'm really, really grateful to have you here. And I also want to say that your comments always make my day, so thank you if you've ever left a comment. It's just, it's really humbling, and it's an honor that I can sit here and connect with you guys and, you know, catch little glimpses into these lovely moments of your life. It makes me excited, it makes me inspired, and reminds me that I have stuff to look forward to as well. So thank you for letting me bear witness to how your life is unfolding. I'm sorry I'm getting kind of like mushy, but thank you. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to anyone involved in this situation, and everyone who has helped you and is helping you get to this day in your future, whether they are incarnate or not. And I'm sending lots of love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, all of the divine feminine higher powers who are working with you. It's an honor to have them present in the reading. And I'm sending love to all your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 4s. So if you guys chose the Prehnite, I said Prehnite in the intro, but then I googled it and apparently it's Prehnite, which this is my first piece of Prehnite, by the way, and my first reading using it. So it's a special day. This is going to be a reading all about a happy day in your future. So basically we're going to see the overall energies of this day, the overall emotions, why it's a significant day. We're going to get into the events that are taking place during this day, and then we're going to finish off the reading with some messages and advice from your spirit guides. So let's get right into it. Starting with these oracle cards, we have Uranus. We have Chameleon with the keyword adapt. And then we have best timing. So this would be something like perfect timing or divine timing. Interesting. With this Uranus energy, first of all, an Aquarius person could be significant in this situation, like they have their sun, moon, or rising in Aquarius, or Aquarius season could be significant. Of course, I don't know when you're watching this reading, it is timeless, but the upcoming Aquarius season, like late January to late February, could be a significant time for you. We also have the numbers 9 and 3, which could be significant numbers. But because we have this Uranus energy here, this is kind of an unexpected or unpredictable energy. So the happy day that we're looking at here that is coming in your future, I feel like it's not really on your radar. It's not really something that you would conceive of right now. So basically, it's not something that you are consciously manifesting or something that you have your mind on. So let's say at the time that you're watching this, you're like, I want to meet my soulmate, and I want to get a promotion, and I want a new computer. Like, those are the things that you have on your radar that you want to be popping up in your future. And then this is like something completely different. It's not something you're expecting, or it may not even be something that you currently want in this moment. It's like a completely unexpected, pleasant surprise. Like, it's like if I had a puppy next week. That's not even something that I'm expecting, but it will make me very happy if that happens. It's that kind of vibe. And I think the main emotion on this day, it's actually very sweet, because what you're realizing on this day is that we get such tunnel vision with the things that we want to happen and the things that we think should be happening, that we forget all of the other little surprises that the universe has up their sleeve for us that we didn't even think of. There's so many things outside of our rigid plan for our lives that can come in and make us very happy. People that we didn't expect to meet, places that we didn't expect to go, you know, things we didn't expect to come our way. And we weren't even thinking about it, and yet the universe was keeping track of that for us. The universe was planning that beautiful surprise for us. And I think this whole experience, it just kind of takes you out of feeling the need to control or like always knowing what's going to happen, and just being open to the surprise blessings and the beautiful twists and turns that the universe has in your path. I think this day, like, it really helps you to just like let go of control, let go of the outcome. I don't know what's coming, but I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to make me happy. That's basically the feeling. And also, this is giving me the feeling that there could be a very spur of the moment decision that you make on this day, or an impulsive decision that you make on this day, because this adapt with this Uranus energy, it's making me think of a act first, think later kind of situation. It's the vibe of like, I decided to spontaneously fly to Paris tonight. Unless you live in Paris, then maybe that's not super spontaneous. And then of course there's all of these logistical things and practical things that you need to think about, but you're like, whatever, we'll figure it out as we go. We're going to Paris. Or like me getting a puppy, that previous example. There's a lot you have to prepare and a lot of things you have to think about. But if someone says they have a puppy up for adoption, I'd be like, okay, I'll figure out that stuff later. I'm just gonna, let's just do it. Let's just get the puppy. So it's this kind of impulsive, spur of the moment, like sudden decision that you make that really changes your future for the better. Interesting. So let's get into the tarot and see what this is all about. The chameleon adapt, it's also making me think of fake it till you make it energy. So another example that came to my mind is like, you get this random job offer and you just impulsively accept it, even though you might not have some of the necessary knowledge or experience or skills, or maybe the job's in another city and so you're like, how the heck am I gonna go to this job? But you're just like, whatever, this sounds cool, I'll figure it out. It's like you have to accept the opportunity while it's there. And this is too good to pass up. So let's just accept this opportunity, welcome this blessing, and like, we'll figure the rest out. Okay, what else does group number, I almost said group number 2. What else does group number 4 need to know about this day? With the numbers 9 and 3, someone born in 1993 could be significant, or someone who is 39. These could also be dates, September 3rd, March 9th. And it could be involving a life path 3 or a life path 9 person. Okay, these cards are taking a while to come out. Interesting. I think your guides want you to it makes sense from the energy of this reading. I think your guides want you to live a little. They want you to spice up your life. Maybe this Uranus energy is coming in to shake things up. For those of you who are stuck in a rut or who have really become creatures of habit, there's a feeling of wanting to spice up your life. Ooh, okay. We have, so this is the Page of Swords, and we have to cover the chest area again. Well, I don't know if I have to, but better safe than sorry. Wow, really taking their time for this one. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. Let's just take these two together. I haven't really been taking the multiples at the same time, but interesting. Fool and the Five of Swords together. And while I was shuffling, the Five of Wands also did flip over. It just didn't come out. But that's like 3 fives that I've seen for your reading. So there's definitely big change coming from this day. The number 0, it also talks about like a clean slate, a fresh start. And then we have the Two of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles. Interesting. So yeah, this thing that you're spontaneously deciding to do, I think it's an offer that you are spontaneously accepting, and it's an offer to be in a partnership with someone or to join a team. That's what I'm feeling with the Two of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. It could also be, yeah, like, and there's even a dog on this card. I was just thinking of 2 becoming 3, like a couple welcoming a third loved one into their home. For some of you, it could actually be spontaneously getting a companion animal. Or yeah, like you're adding someone to your team or adding someone to your family, or you're joining a team or a family. It's like a spontaneous decision to link up with certain people. I do think for many of you, this could have to do with your career or with your creative pursuits. Like you're jumping on board for a certain project, or you're taking a certain job, even though you may not completely know what it entails or what you're doing. Like you just want to go for it. And this is coming after some kind of failure or rejection, which I know obviously doesn't sound positive when we're talking about a happy day in your future, but there is some kind of disappointment. Like something's falling through, something's getting rejected, and then you're kind of in this like, fuck it energy. I think it takes this moment to happen for you to be in that like, screw it, whatever. Let's just throw caution to the wind. So one example that's coming to my mind, and this is just a hypothetical example. Let's say someone had just lost their job and they're really upset about it, and they go to a bar and you know they're drinking their sorrows away or whatever, and then there's someone next to them at the bar and they strike up a conversation with them, and you have the same aspirations or you have the same interests. Maybe you're both really into fashion, and then the person is like, I'm going to a fashion show in Italy tomorrow. Do you want to come with me? And then you're like, well, fuck it. Like, I lost my job. It's not like I have anything to do tomorrow. Like, sure, why not? Like, something to take my mind off of this bullshit that I'm going through. It's not really a rock bottom, okay? It's just a disappointment that actually frees you up or puts you in that right mindset to be like, you know what? I will go with you because like what else am I gonna do over here? Just sit here and feel sorry for myself? It's like that kind of feeling, like let's just go for it, and then it's gonna lead to amazing things and actually a really prosperous long-term future and long-term partnerships for you. Like it's gonna lead to some really beneficial networking for you, a really exciting project, a new team, a new happy family. This is like beneficial partnerships and connections. I'm sorry if this sounds weird, but I got a strong smell of weed. I just picked up on it, and I can assure you there is none in this house. So I think I'm picking up on someone. I don't know if that's you watching this right now or like someone you're gonna meet and be hanging out with, but I just thought I would mention that. I'm not encouraging you to do it either. I just wanted to mention that in case it's a confirmation. But yeah, you know, with these two cards coming out next to each other, it immediately made me think of an idea being rejected, a proposal being rejected, you know, or something falling through. And then when I was shuffling, we had that Five of Wands that flipped over. And then I thought, okay, yeah, it's someone's disagreeing with you. Someone doesn't see eye to eye with you. And that's why these things are falling through. That's why this rejection is happening. And then the Five of Swords and the Fool came out. And the reason I kind of giggled when this came out is because I don't normally interpret the Fool very literally. You know, it actually came out in another group's reading. And I was talking about, oh, it's a leap of faith. It's, you know, which I do think applies to your reading. This is also Uranus energy. But I think these two cards came out together to say whoever rejected you is a fool. Like, whoever didn't see your vision or didn't see your worth is dumb and is in the wrong. Like, and I, you know, everybody has their truth, but it could actually be that they rejected you for invalid reasons, or their priorities weren't straight, or it was just a silly choice on their part, and it's really their loss. You know, like let's say you went to a job interview and you got rejected. This is here to tell you that any smart person would have hired you, because you have all the qualifications. So it was just their dumb move. It's their loss. And honestly, you probably dodged a bullet, like being rejected by this person. This can also indicate some sort of financial loss or something not panning out in your career. And I feel bad that I'm talking about this when this is supposed to be like a happy day reading, but I think it's kind of important to set the scene that you go through this disappointing situation and this rejection, that you're kind of in a mentality of, I don't really have anything to lose at this point, like whatever, let's just go for it. And I'm not trying to be like, it happened for a reason, like you should be grateful, but I think that maybe this was what it took to spice up your life and to start having more fun and to start living more spontaneously and be open to all the adventures that are out there in the world. I think some of you guys who chose this group are really getting tunnel vision and kind of stuck in the same daily routine, and just something needed to be shaken loose, or something needed to be removed to kind of wake you up that there's a much bigger world out there. It's like you needed to be reminded that your one plan for your life is not the only way it can go. And there's a million other ways that you can be happy, and other amazing experiences that you can have. In fact, that are much better than the plan that you had for yourself. This is to allow you to dream bigger and to see even bigger and better things. And you know, this is the Page of Swords. So whatever you are losing here, there is a feeling that it was still in the early stages. So it's more like a potential that you lost. And what I mean by that is, this is not the energy of like your partner of 10 years breaking up with you. It's not that vibe. It's something that didn't even really get off the ground, you know? For example, you know, a situationship ending. So you were never actually with this person. It's just that there was the promise there that something could happen, or not getting hired for a job. So it never even really started, but you had hopes for that promise. You really expected things to go that way, and then it didn't, you know? Like, or your project, not getting permission to go forward with your project. I think you guys get the picture. This is not the vibe of like, I lost my friend of 20 years, or like, I lost my job of 10 years. It's, you know, it's like, oh, I was really hoping that that would start, that would get off the ground, and it didn't. Well, it looks like I have no plans now. So let's do something spontaneous. That's the kind of vibe. So in the moment, it's interesting, like in the moment when you're living this day, it might feel kind of difficult or confusing, but I think that you look back on this day with a lot of fondness. Like, this is the day that changed your life, and you'll be like, thank God, like this saved you. And I know that sounds dramatic, but this saved you from what your life would have been had these plans gone through. And I just see, like, you're going on some amazing adventure with new exciting person or new exciting team. And in some ways you're kind of living a lavish life. Like that example of going to a fashion show. I forget where I said it was. Maybe Italy or something. Like the example of going to that fashion show, it's like you're getting to see the finer things in life and meeting really interesting people, and you get to become involved in a really cool project or a really cool job. This dog is spirit being like, let's go. You see, spirit is pushing you in this direction, but you're kind of looking back at, no, my old plans. And spirit's like, forget the old plans. We're going somewhere completely new, and it's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more exciting. We want to show you what your life can be, because it's some of you guys who chose this group, your view of what your life can be, it's so limited. There's such a more big, beautiful world out there. Let's take a look at your final oracle cards. Those are not... Let's take a look at your final oracle cards. Those were the ones from the previous group. I have to bring them upstairs, so I set them aside here. But these are... And isn't that funny? Like, the pile I showed at first, they're all the same deck. And then your guides are like, no, it's this one with variety. You need more variety in your life, okay? Yeah, okay, let's just look at them. We have Stibnite with conflict. So interesting, we got the 5 of Swords, which is conflict. That 5 of Wands flipped over, that's also conflict. I think there's a piece of advice to don't fight the conflict, like let it happen. If something is out of alignment for you, let it show you. Let the things in your life show their true colors and go where they need to go. If something is not meant for me, let it leave my life. If something's meant for me, let it stay in my life. I embrace conflict because it's showing me how I can redirect to a happier life. So I'm not going to try to resist it. I'm not going to try to pretend it's not there. I'm going to let it show me how to redirect, like where I can go. It's weird. The example I was just thinking of is, you know, when you're really, really hungry and it feels really uncomfortable, it's information. It's telling you what you need. I need to do something differently. I need to eat something. Like the inner conflict that you feel maybe is a hunger. It's showing you of something that you need. And I think you need more adventure, more stimulation, more of a challenge, more fun, more variety, more opportunity. If you feel uncomfortable, it's because it's like you're a big fish in a little bowl and you're wanting to expand out. Your soul is craving to expand out. Wow, make a mission statement for your soul. And I love that we have this road like leading off to the horizon, leading to the unknown. Yeah, it's your soul is craving to break free. And there's been a lot of recurring themes of freedom in these groups. Like you are being freed from something. For a lot of you, there could be like a travel or relocation. Just looking at this road and some of the examples that were coming to my mind, like impulsively going to Paris, impulsively going to a fashion show. There could be some kind of, yeah, moving or relocation that is going on. And then we have intuition, feeling your way into and through your work. An internal understanding that not all useful things are seen or knowable. Exactly. There's so much in your future that you can't even conceive of yet, because our brains have such a limited perspective of what our options are, of what the possibilities are for our life, of what the likely outcomes are. It's so limited. Like, you know, I'm gonna butcher this expression, but I see a lot these quotes of like, just imagine there's people out there that you're gonna fall in love with and who are gonna love you that you don't even know yet. But we're so, I mean, it makes sense, right? We're so focused on what we do know, on what is right in front of us, on what can be seen, what can be known. But I think your future is so vastly different from your current life that you couldn't even conceive of it. Like I said at the very start of this reading, like it's not even on your radar what's coming. The plan that you have for your life right now, something completely different might end up happening. And that's okay. That's, you know, life is like that. There's twists and turns. Personally, I often find that, you know, at the start of the year, I write down what my goals are. And when I come back to it at the end of the year, I've changed my mind about a lot of things, because we just assume like I'm going to be the exact same person. I'm going to have the same values. I'm going to have the same goals. We don't even account for those unexpected things because we can't really. You know, we're doing the best to predict what's going to happen, but I think this is just reminding you that you can't always know. Even if you are an intuitive, you can't always tell. And I think I'm guilty of this sometimes when I do readings for myself, because I have my own idea of like how my life is gonna go. When I get a card in my reading that doesn't really fit for what I think my future is gonna be, I start to like tweak the meaning of the card. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? In my case, it probably means this because that makes more sense for my situation. And it's like, nope, it's actually the weird interpretation that didn't make sense to you in the moment. You just hadn't gotten far enough yet into the future. Do you ever think about that? I'm about to go on a little tangent, but it's interesting how we watch readings about our future, and when we're saying like, oh my gosh, that's so accurate, what we're really saying is this matches with what my brain can predict for my future. You know, like even if we watched a reading about our future and we're like, no, that doesn't resonate, that could still be accurate because we just haven't gotten there yet. You know, like you never know what curveball the universe is going to throw at you. I think about that sometimes. Like, what if we just suspended our judgment and listened to future readings? And even if it sounds completely not like what our plans are, it could still be true. Anyway, let me know what you think about that. And if you ever had an experience like that when you're reading for yourself. So I think that those are all the messages for my group number 4s. Thank you for being my first Prehnite reading. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The EH is pronounced like the Canadian A, so I should have known. Thank you for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you like to find me elsewhere, I will link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch a ton of exclusive, timeless readings just like this one, as well as decide on the topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being here. Group number 4, I'm sending lots of love to you, to anyone who may be involved in this situation, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!